not going to make it easy on you, but you don't want it to be. That's how you get better.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Joe, I apologize if it's already been asked, but I asked Brendan over there who's better dressed, you or him, and walk us through the selection of the suit.
Man, I personally like mine better. I think I look sharper than him. No, I mean, there wasn't really anything that went into it. I mean, I have a couple of black and gray suits. I wanted to add a little bit of color to it this time. It looked a little bit more pink in the picture that I saw. So I was like, but I mean, I kind of like how it came out. It's different. I haven't really seen anything like it. And just add something to my wardrobe collection.
You're one in Cincinnati. You kind of have that breakout performance. How much confidence has that given you heading into this upcoming season?
It helps for sure. Just having the year like I did, but also just knowing that I can only get better. Because there was times last year where I still wasn't playing as confident or as comfortable as I wanted. And just getting another year under my belt, take great strides for sure.
Your relationship with Coach Stepp. Walk us through that and how much it has helped with, your transition to Cincinnati and then now heading into your final year.
Yeah, man, I could talk for hours about what Coach Stepp has done for me and what he means to me. I love him to death. He knows that, and I mentioned it earlier. Our relationship, it's special. We interact with each other like we grew up together, have known each other our whole lives, or like we're brothers. And just being able to have a guy like that you can go to work for every day, it helps. It makes it so much easier. I can count on him if I'm not, if I'm having a bad day or not feeling great. I know he comes to me as well if something's bothering him or whatever. But I love Coach Stepp. He helped me find the love of the game, football again, because I was struggling there for a while. So can't say enough about him, man.
Then, Gavin, you've been with Cincinnati through the highs and lows. How have you kind of used that experience to continue to elevate this program as you're heading into your final year?
I think I know what it takes to be at that level. I've been here for a long time, so I can kind of pass that knowledge on to the younger guys of how much hard work goes into it, how much dedication goes into it, really being a connected team, being determined to play with and for one another, passing that knowledge on to them. I think that is what will help us be successful.
Dante kind of mentioned he was here for the old locker room and then the NIP renovation and now the indoor practice facility. Just overall thoughts from both of you guys on the new indoor practice facility.
Amazing. You go in there and I'll sit there for 13, 14 hours a day. It doesn't matter. I'm not in any hurry to get home. I really do. I think last week I was there for like 14 and a half hours one day. It was like a 6:30 lift, and I didn't leave till really late in the evening. You can do anything you need to do there. You get a nap in, you can go watch extra film with the guys, the fuel station and everything. The food is amazing. And then the recovery space is also amazing. And it's a great space for us to help us be successful.
I assume the recovery space is a little bit better than the cow tubs out at higher ground.
Yeah. A lot better. A lot better.
And
we'll still be out there though.
What about you, Joe? Favorite just impressions coming from Ohio State, impressions on the new indoor practice facility?
I mean, no knock on Ohio State's facility. It was great. It's nice to Ohio State's, but theirs is a little older. I'm sure. I think they plan on getting renovations soon, so I'm sure that would be awesome for them. But it's the nicest one I've seen, and Gavin kind of hit on it. It's so nice, and there's so much things that you can do to help better yourself, things like that. There's no rush to get out of there. My favorite thing is probably just all the different recovery methods and everything that you can do in there and get your body right. Just hanging out with the guys too, because you got a nice players lounge. You can hang out and do things too. We're there so long anyway.
We didn't have that within the game. Us just having that mindset.
I'm Jericho, nice 247. I just want to talk to you guys about your style as a tight end. What allows you? How do you characterize yourself?
Yeah, I would say I fall along the lines of more of a pass catching and receiving tight end. I played wide receiver basically my whole life up until I got to college. So just being able to have all those reps and all that kind of knowledge, and it helped me as a tight end in the receiving game as well. So just being able to do that, but I like to think I can make plays for us, help the offense out, down the field or whatever. I can stretch my hand, ball in my hand on the screen or just down the field or whatever it is. Just try to make a play.
As a pass catching tight end, what excites you about your guys' offense and the system that you guys are going to run?
Yeah, so I had 50 catches last year. That's a lot for a tight end, and Brennan's a good quarterback, great quarterback. So having something to throw it to, like him, helps, makes it a little easier as well. But then you picked up some great receivers too that can take the top off and do things as well. And so if you want to focus on them, it can help lead me to get open as well. Or if you want to guard me, we can throw it to them. But also, we have Gavin here, great O-line. We have great running backs too. So I think, if we play the way we should, I don't really think too many teams can stop us.
Gavin, one of your fellow O-linemen, Judia, he was injured last year. How do you see him fitting in this year and kind of helping that unit up front? Judia Milan.
Oh, Judea, yeah.
Judea,
yeah, you're good. I think it'll be good for us. He's matured a lot. I think that was a big thing for him, was to mature. He was a younger guy who came from JUCO, so I'm not sure about his eligibility because of all that stuff that came out, but he'll fit in. He'll play a decent amount this year. He's made a lot of strides. Got a little banged up last year trying to trust his foot. He was struggling with that. He didn't want to put any weight on it or anything, but he'll be big for us this year.
Gavin, as an O-lineman, being up there in the trenches, what are some qualities you look for, obviously being in Cincinnati for a while? Bring guys in that unit. What are the qualities you look for to really help them stand up and bring on
his offense? I would say selfless, hardworking, disciplined, and willing to just really do anything to help the team win. You don't get all the glory and all the praise, and I'm okay with that. I've always played offensive line my whole career, my whole childhood and everything. But really just doing whatever it takes to help a team win. Doesn't matter if that's trying to hold a guy in place for 10 seconds while the quarterback's scrambling in the backfield trying to make a play downfield. Really just doing whatever it takes.
How do you characterize yourself and your group as an offensive line?
I'd say in the scheme we run, kind of more athletic. You kind of have to have some speed because we run a lot of outside zones. So in some of those cases, you have to work quick up to linebackers or cut off defensive linemen pretty quickly. So I would say pretty smart because of the scheme we run. The different looks can change the calls dramatically and totally different calls. But a little bit more athletic than normal athletic offensive linemen.
And obviously we played you guys before we came into the Big 12, and there was a rivalry for that time being, and we still kind of hope it continues. From your perspective on the Cincinnati side, is that rivalry still alive as we kind of continue into the Big 12 now in our third season?
100%, yeah. I would say us, UCF and Cincinnati, and then our other rival, Miami, Ohio, those are the two we actually would consider a rival. No other team we really have played. I know that Pitt used to be a rival to UC's, but they hadn't played for so many years, and we played them the last 2 seasons. But definitely UCF and Miami of Ohio were the 2 biggest rivals we had. We take those weeks a little different. We know what to expect from the opponent in those ways. Yeah.
They say experience is the best teacher. When you think about your fast start last year and then how you guys finished, what did you guys take away from that you can carry over to this season to improve?
Yeah, that was kind of just the story of our season last year. We'd start off games pretty strong. I felt like that we'd fall apart a little bit in the second half. So we've been preaching. It's called like the middle 8, like the last couple minutes of the second quarter and the start of the third quarter. There's got to be the best moments of the game, and they matter for sure. So just being able to start fast, but not only start fast, but to be able to just finish games. It's a long season, so just not get fatigued. Don't let little things go or let fundamentals go as the season goes on and progresses. Just staying true to what we know and what got us to 5-2 at one point. And we weren't far off at all. I think there's a stat we're 1-4 and 1-score games or something like that. So if you flip that number around, we're sitting 9-3. And this conversation might look a little different, but. Just staying true to what the coaches are trying to instill in us and what we know and what we know we can do as a team.
As a caveat to that, you kind of mentioned it. When you think about how close you guys actually were in some of those 5 games, how have you used that as motivation to continue to preach to these younger guys that are still getting acclimated to the Cincinnati culture?
Yeah, well, it all starts with Coach Nico and his staff and what we do in the off season. Just getting that culture and us. Gavin and I have a pretty good understanding and getting that belief into us, but also just getting that to the young guys or guys who transferred in. And I think they picked it up pretty quickly that we're not messing around. We got beliefs in what we can do, and if you don't believe in that or you're not buying in, then you're not going to work out here. So just getting the young guys and everyone on board, and just collectively as a whole group, everyone's just believe in what we're trying to do.
Joe, you transferred here last year, and it kind of immediately clicked with you. Do you see some other transfers this year where you feel like they can just have a breakout season after not playing as much at their previous schools, or coming from smaller schools?
Starting offensively, we brought in so many great receivers that will help us. Jeff Caldwell, Caleb Goody, Cyrus Allen, Noah Jennings, and the list goes on. Tawee Walker, running back, he'll be great for us as well. Got some guys helping Gavin out on the O-line. Terrence Tyler from Ball State. He'll have immediate impact, and Joe Cotton will be a good tackle for us. So offensively, we've got some key pieces that we were missing, and so I'd say all those guys really. And defensively, we picked up some good defensive backs on the back end. Christian Harrison will be good. Matthew McDoom. I mean, we really kind of got like a new team, but I think all these guys will do well for us.
For both of you, what was it like last year when you heard that Dante was cleared to play? Because I'm sure that news was tough in June. And now what's it like having a full offseason with him back, committed to the team, and being that longtime leader that's been here even since he was successful?
Yeah, Dante will tell you too, last year didn't really go for him the way he wanted because he missed a lot of summer, pretty much all of training camp, and it takes some time to really get clicking. And by the time he said he felt like he was clicking, it was really late in the season. So just being able to have the full off season, and I think he's healthy and everything's all good. So that's awesome, and he'll be back to who he was this year for sure.
I mean, you can't replicate a game, so I know struggling. He was running all the time, trying to stay in shape, even though he didn't know if he'd play or not. But you can't replicate a game, so knowing that he struggled a little bit once he went out there for games, for him to have a whole off season. He's a tremendous leader for this team. He holds down the fort on the defense for sure. And it's huge to have him full healthy this year.
Speaking of Joe Cotton, Gavin, what have you seen from him there in the offensive line, and what does he bring to the table? Obviously, he has the stature, 6'7", 320 pounds. What does he bring to that offensive line?
Yeah, he fits the picture automatically, obviously. But he came in with a chip on his shoulder. He played at smaller school and FCS and whatnot. But to come into, he's ready to play at this level, and he knows that, and we all know that. And as long as he's confident, which he's shown that he is, he came in with a chip, and we do these crews, and he's always top 5 on the whole team in points. He's working his butt off, trying to be the best version of himself to help us win a lot of games this year.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.